now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Welcome to Millennium News 24 TV Power Talk show. I'm your host, Eric Stevenson. I'm with you once again. It's a great day to be alive, and it's a great day to be in front of you again. And more so, it's even greater that we have with us as our guest today some things that if you take right and follow, it may extend your life, that you'd enjoy it longer. So with us today, I have two great people, health professionals who has extensive experience, background research in herbal medicines and natural health in a way that probably if you stay tuned and focus on what's said today and put it into practice, you might, like I said, have extended life. So with us in the studio, I have Dr. B, a health consultant for, like I said, 40 years plus. And I have live from Jamaica on the show with us, John Mikes, the founder of a 20-year history of research, prayer, and all. And he came up with a formula that's healing the people of the world with pain. And he's the founder of Miracle, it's Fire Rub Miracle Forces. So welcome, Dr. B.
Respect, man.
Respect, yes. And John Mikes.
Greetings and blessings. Give God thanks continually.
Yes. Well, I'm great to have you both here today. As I promised the viewers, in the new year, we would do new things. As first, pertaining to health, that's our real wealth. And I'm glad to be able to share some with the viewers today, the great information that both of you could share. Unfortunately, I wanted to get some videos up, but we had a problem with uploading the videos into our server. So that's not going to happen. We'll just go right into the show. So, Dr. B, if you just give a little background to the viewers, and then we'll get into what we want to talk about.
Well, first and foremost, I am the chairman for the Dark Foundation. You can go online and catch us at darcfoundation.org. There you will find information to soothe your soul, to guide you from a physical standpoint and help you mentally as well. So it's a three-dimensional approach from the Dark Foundation: body, mind, and spirit. I am also the founder and operator for Single Bible. Single Bible is an holistic entity that has existed over the last 5 decades. And the objective is to guide individuals to help themselves. How you do that is by providing them the proper information, that information that will enable someone who is afflicted with any particular ailment to fix themselves naturally, in other words, holistically, without then having to resort to chemicals and drugs.
Great. And John Mikes, why don't you shoot the viewers a little bit about this Miracle Forces and Miracle Fire Rub that we'll talk about?
Yeah. Greetings and blessings again to everyone in the world, all places, all faces, all nation. And Dr. B, blessings and greetings, brother.
Love again, my brother.
Yeah, big up yourself. I was one of your patients once when I was in pain. Now, I suffered an accident and was going through severe, excruciating pain. And I was taking all kind of pills. then I got better, probably 80, 95%, to that point where I get re-injured again playing football. I thought I could go back out there, start playing soccer and get re-injured. And this thing was really, getting to me. So I started experimenting like 21 years ago to find a herbal cure for what I was going through, as it was starting to damage my liver. And I start experimenting, start researching, and I came up with Miracle Fire Up. Now, before Miracle Fire Up, I had another, the mother, which was Miracle Forces presents Painkiller. Now, the painkiller, I took it to Jamaica, and the government liked the idea, and they decided to say, well, Jamaicans, we can't call it a painkiller. There are too much painkiller out there. And they coached me and guided me through, so we came up with the name Miracle Fire Rub. And it's doing miracles around the world. It's a pain liniment, but it's also good for poor circulation, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, knee pain, headache, toothache, cold and flu, swellings, inflammation, numbness, cramps, stiffness in the joint, muscle contraction, insect bites, sprain and strain, burning in the tissues, tingling in the tissues, boils, and even accident recovery. Bike accidents, a lot of that happen in Jamaica, and head-on crashes, and people use it after they get off the broken bones, and it help alleviate the pain and get rid of the swelling real fast. So it's Miracle Fire Up. Our slogan is rub it on, the pain is gone. Rub it twice, then you feel nice. Blessings.
Great. That's a great product. And I'm sure when many people in the American market gets to have access to it and start to use it, I'm sure it will skyrocket, because a lot of people out here is experiencing a lot of problem with arthritis due to cold and as they get older, and like you said, from accidents, all kinds of different things, inflammations, and so on. So you're in the right time, John Mikes. We're going to talk about how we're going to get into getting people to get access to that. But Jabi, so Dr. B, excuse me, Doctor. So what I wanted to focus on today in health, I wanted to talk with you about, we had a lot of callers in a couple of our shows ago, and people was complaining about diabetes, hypertension, and of course, there's an enormous rate of cancer elevation amongst our people. Now, you're seeing more and more people develop with cancer now, more so than ever. Over the past 10 years to now, the rate has, if not quadrupled, more than that. And so with the diabetes part, we want to focus on people saying they're taking metformin pills. It's making them sick. It's not good for them. And some are taking insulin, but many are looking for a way out of these pharmaceutical medications so that they could feel good and live a better life. So maybe you could shed some light on these things.
No, first and foremost, these three diseases, these three illnesses that you mentioned, is lifestyle-based illnesses. In other words, the individual develop these problems based upon the way they live. Mm-hmm. In other words, most of the food that we have is problematic foods. We have a lot of processed food, for example, and these food generally are acidic food. Now, when you have acidic food, you will have inflammation, and you will also develop an amount of parasite within your system. Now, parasitic infestation is a deadly disease. And when the parasite is inside of your liver, for example, it will change the consistency of your blood sugar. When the parasite is in other areas of your body, it can raise your blood pressure. When it is in another area, it can be microscopic, like flukes. And these are the flukes that we classify as cancer. The parasitic infestation where there is microbial flukes that is in the body. These only exist because of the excessive acidic foods that we eat. Now, when an individual eats a lot of acidic foods, it forces your body to literally go into an overdrive. Your mucous membrane, for example, start to manufacture more mucus. Now, you may look at the mucus as being problematic, but the mucus is your body check engine light, so to speak, because it's telling you, the body is too acidic, thus the mucous membrane start to produce more mucus, which in essence coat the cells from the excessive acid. Which, as you know, acid burn. If I should pour some acid on a table, it can make a hole through the table. Now, irrespective of the form of acid is going to burn. The terrain, being the table, or you yourself, does not change the effect of the acid. So what the first thing an individual would do then to combat any of these treatments is to change their diet and get from an alkaline perspective. Later on, we'll go into the
So how would a person who's in this situation detoxify the body to cleanse it, to start over again, sort of say?
To clean the body, you're going to need good water. Because water is the greatest cleaner on earth. You can't clean without proper water. You can use any of those topical rub that they often use to clean yourself. However, water is the very best cleaner. Now, when you add certain herbs to the water, for example, you add some Cinco Bible, which is aloe. It makes that water more potent as a cleanser. You add some Cascara Sagrada to that. It makes it also much better to clean. Now, speaking specifically of diabetes, there is the herb rice bitters. Rice bitters is an excellent herb to help you to combat blood sugar problem. In other words, diabetic problem. Notice rice bitters, because most of us don't have things that are bitter.
Where do you get rice bitters? I've never heard of it.
You can get rice bitters at your health food outlet.
Oh, really?
Store that
it's a liquid
herb. No, the herb. It's the herb itself.
Okay, it's called rice bitters.
Rice bitters.
Wow. Okay.
Now, there's berberine. Berberine is exceptional. As a matter of fact, you will recognize that berberine is in many of the over-the-counter treatment for cleanse and diabetes. Berberine, it look almost like turmeric in color, yellow. However, it functions way better than turmeric in terms of reducing the blood sugar. Why is that? It helps to alkalize the system, as well as it helps to get rid of the parasite that is the underlying cause for these problems in the first place.
So many of us probably majority of us are walking with so much parasites that don't even realize this is within us.
I tell you something. As a youngster in the Caribbean, you do not go back to school without getting a washout. They call it a washout. In other words, it's an internal cleanse because your parents know that you've been eating a lot of garbage during the holiday, a lot of sugar, a lot of candy, etc., etc. And so, especially during mango season, because mango have a lot of worms in there.
We're going to take a quick break, Doctor. We're going to come right back. Stay tuned. Hello, viewers in America and across the world. This is Eric Stevenson, host of the Power Talk show on Millennium News 24. Tune in every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, American Time, and also on all of your iOS and Android devices. Also on Smart TV and Apple, Amazon, and worldwide through Verizon Satellite. And also worldwide through www.millenniumtvnews.com. And that's www.millenniumnews24.com. And through our social media, Millennium News. See you there. Welcome back to Millennium News 24 Power Talk. I'm your host, Eric Stevenson. I'm with you, and we're going to continue back with our conversation here with Dr. B, and we're going to get over to John Mikes. Dr. B, back to you, talking about the parasites in mango season.
Mango normally have a lot of parasite in them, a lot of worms in it. So usually the elders recognize that, you know, you overly indulge during your vacation or your holidays. Now, what the elders do is make sure you get something to wash out those parasites, to clean out those parasites out of the system. And believe me, you are going to see 3-inch, 5-inch, 7-inch, 12 inches worm coming out of you in your feet.
Let me ask you a question. Those mangoes you said they have parasites, are they visible in the mango?
Sometimes you can see them. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes they're tiny, microscopic. But if you cut the mango and you see some little white strings in it, and you decide that these are some sweet white strings, they're just some sweet parasites, and then you eat them. And then the problem with parasites is this: if you chew the parasite into 10, you have 10 parasites. Because they are single cell amoebas. Wow. So you can chop them up to kill them. You have to literally crush them or get rid of them by elimination.
Wow.
Bowel cleanse, so to speak.
Wow. John Mikes, what do you have to say about this? I'm sure the parasites must cause some pain in the body too.
And yes, and I'm a mango lover. Nothing I love more than the East Indian and the Julie mango down here in Jamaica. Sometimes I eat them till I don't need a dinner in the evening.
Well, careful with those white stringy things when you cut it now, you know?
Yes, and that's why you need to constantly purging and detoxing the body. And what Dr. B is saying is perfect. You have to keep detoxing. Out here, I recommend that is at least every quarter, every 3 months, a person will take a detox. The Cascara Sagrada, the dandelion, the rice bitters, also known as andrographic paniculata, but down here we call it rice bitters, and we use it seed on the leaf.
Yes.
And the finger Bible. In America, they call it what? Aloe vera?
Yeah, that's what Dr. B says, aloe vera, yes.
Aloe vera, and you need to take the bitters.
Yes.
You need to take the bitters, Mr. Stevenson, along with the sweet and the sour. That's why the people are drinking the soda. They need to combat that with the sour stuff like the tamarind. And also, I see them drinking now like June plum, which is very starchy, June plum juice. You know, so they're drinking starch and they're drinking sugar, and then the diabetes problem just become worse and worse. I mean, it's an epidemic down here. Also with the KFC, that everybody's eating so much. And the long lines, if everybody wants to have KFC, it's a sign of financial uppity up. When you can have that KFC in your hand, they hold it real, you know, like I have KFC, I have it. You know.
So, John Mike, what could the I know as we on the topic of diabetes that sometimes diabetes cause pain in the body, in the joints, sometimes in the feet, sometimes the numbness. What has the Miracle Fire Rub been doing for this situation?
Miracle Fire Rub is not doing nothing primarily for diabetes. Miracle Fire Rub is a rub-on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a liniment.
Mm-hmm.
Diabetes is a lifetime change, lifestyle change, where, comes in with exercise, eating live food, life-giving food, as Dr. B is saying. Stop eating this processed food. Literally eliminate that out of your diet, which is mucus forming, and go for more natural food that is life forming. Miracle Fire Rub is more to help with after they have eaten all these dirt food and they start having the inflammation and the poor circulation, then that's when Miracle Fire Rub chips in.
Yes, but I know that the Miracle Fire Rub has been known to, from what I was looking at some of the testimonials on TikTok and online, and some of the commercials, a lot of people were stating that they was in pain. As you said, rub it on and the pain is gone. Rub it twice, you feel nice. But they was actually testifying to that they have actually had pain for months and months until they used the fire rub. And when they rubbed it on, actually the pain was really gone.
Yes, that's a fact. Yeah. To be honest with you, as I tell them everywhere I go, I don't know how it works so miraculous and so quick.
I guess that's why they call me a miracle, right? Because it's like when you say miraculous or miracle, it's like people say, well, it's like a miracle. What happened to them? They used it after being, I've heard some testimonies where ladies been bedridden 2 years. And they rubbed it on her for a week treatment, a massage and so on. And she finally sat up after 2 years.
Yes. And that's another fact. I have more than one testimonies from different clients where they have bone and bone in their knee, scheduled for knee replacement. And after using the Miracle Fire Rub, they no longer need a knee replacement. And I can say how it works. It was really created and designed to alleviate pain. Now it goes into stopping knee replacement. And then recently, a gentleman came over from a small island. He bought a bottle for a friend who was scheduled for an amputation of his foot.
Mm-hmm.
And he came down from the small island and he came and get a bottle, one of the larger bottle, for the man, brought it to New York for him. He said he was his childhood friend who they both went to the same school together, primary school. And the gentleman used it. It got rid of the inflammation. And then he no longer needed the amputation. We posted it up on TikTok. At first, TikTok cut it in half, so you only could see from the waist down. Then they made it black. Then they removed it totally. Then they put it up back where you could see the half from waist down. So it's on TikTok.
So this started to discourage.
And we don't want to fight with big farmers.
Well,
but herb is for the healing. The Bible said that. Herb is for the healing.
But what you just saying, you just save a guy from cutting his foot off, right? A person from cutting off their foot.
Yes, and that's a fact.
Amputation,
he's in
right?
New York.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is like a scientific breakthrough in the market. And finally, at least the Jamaican government woke up and at least they accepted it and approved it legally. So I'm just the people here and around the world. I saw testimony from other islands and even across in Arabia when people had testimonies about this?
Yes, sir.
In
Hundreds
favor of
of
it.
testimonies.
Yes. Well, the
Hundreds of
Fire Up,
testimonies.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now they're telling me, a lady sent me a testimony last week where she's saying, oh, I'm using it for the bad flu that is going around. It clears her sinus. I didn't know it was for cold and flu, so this is beyond me. Probably Dr. B could explain it some more. Why is this thing working? I don't know if you have gotten a copy of it or have used it before. Dr. B, did you ever have any familiarity with it?
No, I have never used it, but you have my contact information. You need to call me so we can guide you in that direction. Anyway, you see, when an individual apply a liniment to their system, now what a liniment does, it penetrates through the skin, and by penetrating through the skin, it can now attack the excess acidity that is inside the body. So speaking of diabetes earlier, where Jamaica says he use it only topically. But yes, you can still use it topically for diabetes by rubbing it over your liver, because there's two organs that is primarily affected by diabetes, the pancreas and the liver. Most people are familiar with the pancreatic problem, but very few equate diabetic problem with a problem of the liver. So when you rub it over your liver, any kind of stimuli, what it's going to do is to stimulate the liver, so the liver can in turn get rid of some of the mucus and the fatty tissue that is inside.
And that's from the outside in.
Exactly. Topically, you rub it over where the liver is. In addition to taking the things that I mentioned, whether it's the rice bitters or the berberine or the O'Reilly or Cersei. These are just different form of
Cersei also helps with it.
With the blood sugar as well. Bitter wood. Bitter foods, generally speaking, is very beneficial to purging the system of diabetes.
How about the bitter crystals?
Bitter crystal, but bitter crystal is aloes,
Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay.
We call single Bible.
Okay.
But the only difference with the bitter crystal is that you have different form of aloes, like we have different form of mangoes. The bitter crystal is Cape aloe. It comes from the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa, which is the mother for the aloes, because the little shrub that you have in your kitchen, that's an hybrid made from the original alophirax or bitter crystal.
So that's original.
The original one.
So it's probably more potent then, right?
Much more potent, much bitter, and
effective.
Much more effective.
Wow.
Whatever the aloe vera will do, the alophirax will do many times over.
Wow. So, John Mike, so I guess what Doctor's saying is you're right. The topical thing is getting into the organs, and this is why you're hearing these miraculous stories of this fire up, And now he's like you say, he's rubbing over the organ of the liver and all of these other things, and it kind of like reactivates it to purge itself.
Yes, Mr. Stevenson, because we had several clients also who had used it for fibroids. And they were having fibroids 10 to 12, 8 centimeters, 6 centimeters large, and then they started using it, and then the fibroids start to move and reduces in sizes. And
going back to what the doctor's saying, alkaline, attacks his body. It seems to be feeding to all these illnesses. So we're getting somewhere now to the source of we have to alkaline our bodies.
That's right.
Let me interject for a second. Remember, the skin is the largest organ. Oftentimes, we do not recognize that the skin is an organ. And all of the organs work synergistically speaking. So if you have the proper thing topically on your skin, it's going to get through into the bloodstream, and it's going to affect you either positively or negatively. In this instant, Russ Mike's formula is affecting you positively. However, when you apply some of these creams and lotions that are toxic, topically, it affects you negatively inside
Let's take a quick break, Doc. We're going to come right back. Hold your seats. We'll be right back. It's too interesting. Hello, viewers in America and across the world. This is Eric Stevenson, host of the Power Talk show on Millennium News 24. Tune in every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, American Time, and also on all of your iOS and Android devices. Also on Smart TV and Apple, Amazon, and worldwide through Verizon Satellite. And also worldwide through www.millenniumtvnews.com. And that's www.millenniumnews24.com. And through our social media, Millennium News. See you then. Welcome back to Millennium News 24 Power Talk. I'm Eric Stevenson, your host. I'm with you, and we're going to continue on here with John Mikes and Dr. B. Dr. B, you want to continue? You was talking about
aloe vera.
Yes, aloe vera, that which is like the aloe vera, which is great for detoxifying the body, and how you were saying the topical product of John Mikes, the painkiller miracle rub, how it's rubbed on, but like you're saying, the largest organ of the body is the skin.
That's correct.
And how it goes through the skin into the organ, so it has an effect from outside in versus internally taking something.
It's like you breathe. For example, if they say, for example, we are in the studio, and if it's toxic, we are going to breathe in toxic oxygen, toxic air. That in turn is going to be problematic. Similarly, if it's pure, we're going to be breathing in pure air as well. So the idea is to let us change our lifestyle, get back to the roots where we use organically grown foods, because prevention is always the best.
Well, this is the problem on the market now. If you go into the local supermarkets now, especially in minority communities, right, we're getting like the worst end of foods, right? Inspectors have come in and actually find some of the markets for saying the food is organic, and they actually found out it's not organic, right? So there's been games played there as well. And then the pesticides. If people's taking foods for good foods for one thing or one reason, or thinking they're eating good and it's not properly cleansed, now you have pesticides, which has chemicals that's actually proven to cause cancer.
And it's known. However, the goal is not to help the minority community to be healthy. The goal is to eradicate the minority community. Yes. Let's be honest. Let's be real.
Fact. That's what it is. They talk about population control and,
So you're not going to be encouraged to eat right. However, you have to recognize that prevention is better than cure.
Yes.
The best objective is to prevent yourself from being sick. You don't want to have pain, even though we want Ras Michael liniment to sell. At the same time, it's best you didn't reach to that stage where you have pain.
That's true.
However, we know that pain is a given. It's going to happen simply because of our lifestyle. Then there is injury, which is not really lifestyle related. You walk in and you trip, you fall, and you hurt yourself. That's not about lifestyle at all. That's just an injury. And Ras Michael will have this particular ligament or liniment that will help you to feel better.
That's correct. John Mikes, back to the fire rub. This miraculous, whatever's in that one bottle that's making all these miracles happen. What actually, or where did you come up with the idea of creating a combination of something to attack this pain?
All right. Sometimes I say, it's just further inspiration, which it is.
So you're like a divine inspiration, right?
I made 2 trips.
Like a divine inspiration, right?
Yeah, a divine inspiration. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Then I made a trip to Ethiopia, and I was prayed for by 11 high priests up in the state of Axum, by the building of the St. Mary Church. And they prayed for me, unleashed me back into the West to do what I am now doing. Because as you know, Eric, my background is in architecture.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave up all of that stuff and say, I'm going to start healing people. And then when I came back to Jamaica here, I up in the hills, and then I saw all these holy herbs and trees around me, and people calling them bushes and burning them. And, every little bush and every tree is trillions of them on the earth. You have more trees, millions and hundreds of millions more than people. And I started to do my research and found out that herb is for the healing, and you eat what you eat, and what you eat is for medicine, and the medicine is for the healing. So the food is for the healing, and the herb is for the healing. So I just get deeper into it, and after a while, I start doing some research. And a gentleman, a young man, brought a 40 leg for me one day. I'm up in the mountains here, and said, "Jamaica, you need this 40 leg?" And I said, "No, man, burn him." But then I said, "You know what? Give it to me." Something clicked into my mind that day and said, "Oh, you remember my grandmother used to throw some white rum on that, put it in a bottle and lock it away, and then they used to use it for pain." So that stimulated the research some more. And then I did it, tested it on my family, and found out that, instant, they have a pain. And it got rid of it. And I go on and on. And now I'm having people with poor circulation. They come in, I have poor circulation. I have a busted vein. I have a Rastaman now in Kingston. His vein was busted, diagnosed by MD. And within the first use, overnight, using the Miracle Fire Rub, that hardness and that stuffy thickness that he had there that couldn't go, I felt it. He said it softens up with one application. I know he's using it now. This is the third night, and very happy. So on and on and on, I'm going by swelling, poor circulation, numbness, cramps, yes, tingling, burning in the tissues. I'm just getting more and more and more good news day after day after day, and night after night, that even some of my clients, they said, "Jamaica, be careful, Jamaica, be careful. They're going to come after you, going to do you something." Because we're solving the problem so cheaply using the herbs that even myself can't believe it, as I say.
What we can say that's in the bottle is divine inspiration. That's the ingredient.
Yeah.
Okay. So you rub it on divine inspiration. That explains the
divine inspiration.
Okay. So that's a good thing. So for the viewers who wants to know, there you go. Divine inspiration is the healer, and this is where we're getting all of the good results from. And I know it's in America growing more and more now. I know it's down in Florida. So I guess maybe even Donald Trump might be using it sooner or later. I don't know. But the rest of the people in America will soon get to know what is fire rub. But Dr. B, back to you. When you talked about the parasites and the healing and how we all walking parasites, sort of say, and as much as I think about it, I don't want to think about it, but the reality makes me have to think about it, because even the viewers who's listening probably thinking that this doesn't pertain to them. Like, oh, I don't have parasites, but you do and you don't know,
You may have itching.
Yeah.
You find your rectum itch.
Uh-huh.
There's an experiment that we do from time to time, right? You find that your rectum is itching. We do it with children. You would put a piece of tape, regular like duct tape, on the butt. and in the morning you peel off that duct tape, and you use the duct tape to you see worm attached to the duct tape because the itching was caused primarily by the worm biting the individual. See, so parasites is all over. You know, you have individual that has done heart surgery because they have been problem, and you know what they find in their heart? Worm. Kidney.
You see?
Worm. See, so parasites is all over, and the infestation of parasites is caused by some of the foods we eat. You know, there's, for example, you get certain meat, you get some pigs, even fish have a lot of parasite in it, and you get some Coca-Cola or some alcohol, and you pour it on it. Perhaps we should have done this here, and you can see the worm running out of the meat.
Wow.
Now you have, as a matter of fact, what the scientist says is this: 1 square inch of your choice beef have over 1,000 larvae waiting to be hatched. How many of us is going to only eat 1 square inch? Remember, 1 square inch has over 1,000 larvae waiting to be hatched. In other words, over 1,000 eggs is in 1 square inch. So you must imagine how much we spoke earlier about mangoes. However, it's not limited to fruits.
So when you cook the meat, does that kill it?
Even if you burn down your house, because the temperature that's needed to kill these flukes, there is no fire that goes to 1,000 degrees.
Wow.
You have to use certain chemicals that burn much higher than the fire.
Wow.
So fire doesn't do it. Cutting it up doesn't do it. That's why you have to provide things that the parasite dislikes, so you eliminate it. There's a thing in Jamaica known as corkscrew. That is one of the baddest cleanse you can get.
Yeah, I heard
as well that. As duck flowers. You get your corkscrew or your duck flower if you're in the island of Jamaica or in the Caribbean, generally speaking, and you use the corkscrew or the duck flower, and you will excrete parasites. Roundworm, hookworm, threadworm, microscopic flukes. However, these parasites will be eliminated because they can't take the duck flower, neither can they take the corkscrew.
So how long of a period of time would you have to take that to?
9 days is usually the standard. However, if the infestation is horrendous, then you use 21 days.
So if a person neglects removing parasites for the body over years and years and years, that would get a person ill and more sick. Is that correct? Until death.
It will kill you.
Yeah.
Because remember, the parasite is a living organism. And it is living within you.
Yes.
Now, the parasite got to eat.
Yes.
You got to drink.
Yes.
You got to have sex.
Yes.
So it's going to multiply.
Yeah.
So before you know it, you become fully infested with the parasites in the system. You see, literally, you'll find you squeeze your nostril and you see worm coming out of it. A lot of people does that. You see the worm literally coming out of the nose.
Wow. So in the meats that you was talking about, is that in all meats, including lamb and beef, the same?
All meat.
And what about chicken?
Whether it's the meat swims, it flies, it walk, it crawl, it run, it jump. There's going to be some degree of parasitic infestation in it. Have you ever seen a fowl or a chicken in the yard running up and down?
Yes.
The chicken eat worm.
Everything.
It eat dead chicken, dead dog. It eats everything.
Good point.
There's no partiality in what the chicken eats.
Good point.
Anything. Yeah. In fact, you'll find the cow is more discriminatory because it's only going to eat grass or vegetation. But the chicken is going to eat anything, including roaches and ants, you name it. So, and the fish is the same thing. The last fish I saw, he was eating a dead man, and then somebody catch him and ate him.
Another question, does vegetation have parasites?
We just tell you about mango. Is mango vegetation?
I'm talking about greens.
Greens. Have you noticed that you look at a particular leaf from a green and you see it's eaten?
Yeah.
Piece of it's eaten.
Yeah.
What ate it? Parasites.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break and turn right back. Stay tuned for more to life. Hello, viewers in America and across the world. This is Eric Stevenson, host of the Power Talk show on Millennium News 24. Tune in every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, American Time, and also on all of your iOS and Android devices. Also, all smart TV and Apple, Amazon, and worldwide through Verizon Satellite. And also worldwide through www.millenniumtvnews.com. And that's www.millenniumnews24.com. And through our social media, Millennium News. See you then. Welcome back to Millennium News 24 Power Talk. I'm so filled up with wanting to make a new life after hearing all these great knowledge and information here from John Mikes and from Dr. B. And Dr. B, as you was just talking about the parasites and all, I wanted to, we talked about the vegetation, and you were saying how sometimes you're seeing a leaf on a tree or something's eating away. So that's parasites. So I guess everything parasites
is all over. That's why it's important to clean your fruits and vegetable in the right way.
Now, what is the best way to clean it? Some people say with vinegar.
You can use a little apple cider vinegar with some sea salt.
Okay.
The combination of the
Does the lemon juice help or not?
Lemon will help.
Okay.
Lemon juice, but with the salt.
With the sea salt.
You need two things, right? One will be dealing with the sour, and one will be dealing with the salt. Earlier, Russ Mike spoke about the importance of using the different elements, the bitter, the sour, etc.
Yeah.
This is another instance where you combine these two elements, literally the sourness of the apple cider or the vinegar, along with the
salt.
The saltness of the salt. Yes, you're correct. And you will soak it in it. And what that does now, the worm don't like it.
So it extracts.
So the worm exactly is going to be in the water.
Wow.
And much of the toxin, not for the pesticides and the herbicides, will also be extracted into the water. When you finish, you're going to still rinse it off because you still don't want to eat your vegetable or your fruit tasting like vinegar or salt.
Right.
So you're going to rinse it off. So then you, at the end of the day, you will not have any adverse effect from having the vinegar.
After hearing this, if this doesn't change your life and make you want to have a different lifestyle, then it means we're subject to sicknesses, illnesses, and death. I mean, sooner than we should have it. And one more thing, Doctor, before I have another question for John Mikes. For the diabetics with the pancreas, lifestyle has stopped the pancreas from producing insulin. Now, how can a person, I know they could detoxify the body, alkaline the body now to get it back in its normal functioning. How do you reinvigorate or reactivate the pancreas, or is it done?
No. You can re-stimulate it or reactivate it, as you say. However, the first thing you're going to do is clean the area.
Yeah.
Then you will provide the necessary foods. So, for example, you've been having a lot of garlic, which is toxic. Because most of us figure garlic is a good food to eat. Extremely toxic. So you're eating a lot of garlic. You're eating a lot of sugar, which is another poison, extremely toxic. Plus the herbicides and the pesticides. No, you got to change. You have breakfast. Oh, let me get some bacon and egg. Problem A and problem B. So the goal is to change the way you function.
So garlic is no good for you?
Toxic. Extremely toxic.
Wow. I thought garlic was good for high blood pressure and all these things.
The amount of people that I know been taking garlic for high blood pressure and the blood pressure killed them.
Wow. So we get more research. So what do you say to re-stimulate the pancreas? What would be like some herbs that you could use for that?
There's the African Pygeum. There's the saw palmetto.
For the pancreas.
Yes,
they help
the pancreas as well as the prostate.
Oh, okay.
You see,
Okay.
it helps. We already tell you about using the berberine.
Yeah, berberine. That's
another one that's very good. We talk about the rice bitters.
Yes,
we tell you about the O'Reilly or the Circe.
Yeah.
The bitter herbs, the bitter wood is another one.
Yeah.
All these herbs.
Cascara Sagrada.
And Cascara Sagrada, as our brothers say. All these herbs that we mentioned earlier are beneficial to not only cleaning, but replenishing. Because cleaning is first, you know. So the cleaning is the elimination. Then you have to assimilate now by providing the things necessary.
Now, what about a person who's just recovering from a stroke? And they feel some people may be partially bent to the left or right or whatever the case, and they feel that they can't recover.
Yeah, you have a Jamaica's rub.
Yeah.
Is one example.
Yeah.
The cayenne pepper is another great example. You use it because calcium in the cayenne pepper is a rebuilder of tissue.
Okay.
Because it works by first working with your bone marrow. Once the bone marrow get the medication properly, it then transfer it to what? The different cells that you have. So it's bone marrow to RNA and DNA. And thereafter, it fixes the cell. So it's the process. Get that cayenne pepper. Basically,
is it good to take every day, cayenne pepper?
Good to take on a daily basis.
Really? Yeah.
Basically, if you can manage it.
Yeah, if you can manage it.
Take 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper in 8 ounces of water. Warm water preferably, but room temperature water is fine. And if you can manage that.
Does that help with parasites too? To remove them?
It's going to burn them.
Burn them up.
And they're going to want to come out. You see? So that's the cayenne pepper, which is the calcium is the active ingredient in the cayenne pepper, make it such a wonderful treatment.
So and now could you put lemon juice in it too?
No, you don't need to. Okay. But lemon is toxic, you know. You want lime.
Wow.
You see, there is 2 forms of foods. There is the hybrid foods, which is man-made, where we cross-pollinate things together. And lemon is a cross-pollinated food. Lime, on the other hand, is an heirloom, which go wild. So you can go into the African bush and see wild lime running, wild orange. But the orange that we have, Mr. Valencia make Valencia orange. Mr. Navel makes navel orange. However, the wild orange is a similar orange, or the sour orange, which you will find in any orange grove or any tropical.
Yeah, so the lime is actually better to alkaline the body than the lemon.
Look, it's vitamin C.
Yeah.
That's why they call the British limey when they have curvature of the spine, because they get them lime. Because lime is the active ingredients, vitamin C, that helps the body to know.
And how about the moringa? Does that help too?
Moringa is a great food because it provides much of the vitamins and minerals. In other words, moringa is one of those food you should not stay home without. If you don't have any moringa in your home, move.
Yeah, because many moringas grow throughout the Caribbean, most of the Caribbean islands, throughout Africa. I'm sure even Bangladesh and all these countries, they all have it. Some may call it a different name, but it's there. Really? Most of the places, even in Jamaica, they let it go. Many of the places let it go to waste.
Do you know when the Africans populate India? Because Africans are the first inhabitant, the Indo-Kush is the first inhabitant of India. When the Africans populated India, they took moringa with them.
Wow. So that's
and they took some of the aloes with them too.
So that's 2 key things, you know. So John Mike,
the third, you don't forget about the cayenne.
And the cayenne, we got it. We got the 3 things, got the key. So John Mike's. So now we have it with Dr. B internally. We have it with John Mike's externally. So we have it complete. There's no way to lose from the in and the out. And this Miracle Fire Rub, Mike, divinely inspired in the bottle. We could also call it Divinity Rub, you know. So so I guess after 20 years, there's no other way of looking at it. Because how could you think for 20 years? How can you research for 20 years? How can you experiment and try so many ingredients back and forth on your own family for 20 years and finally come up with something that is reducing the pain in the world. But now we understand that some of the reason is because what the doctor just explained, which makes a whole lot of sense. Topical rub into the organ. So the divine ingredients going into the organs of the body, giving the divinity healing within. So now we got it. So the American market, I mean, I'm seeing it growing rapid fire in Florida. And I know it's coming up. I've seen some places in New York, patches have some of it, but I know when it hits the market where everyone starts to know about it over here, I don't know how you're going to produce enough.
I'm ready for them now.
Yes, but
yeah,
you know,
and sorry,
you should tell us before the show ends, because I need to know, and I'm sure others who's in pain and wants to help their family. How do we get the Miracle Rub?
Well, it's available in Florida. There's one major distribution, Miss G at.
You need to put up a number. Repeat a phone number or something, because people are going to need to get this quickly, Mike.
Yeah. There's one major distributor down there in South Florida, Miss G. Her number is 561-385-5770. Let me repeat. 561-385-5770. Miss G. She's controlling the entire Northeast coast of the United States, which we had a launch on the 16th of November in America. And it's approved by the FDA, Kappa Lab, authorized by the FDA to test these different kind of drugs. And this is not really a drugs. It's a liniment, all natural, all herbal, no preservatives, no additives, no side effects. That's one of the great things I didn't get to say. It has no side effects whatsoever.
That's what we would expect, something of the divine, So
it's more than divine.
Yes. Dr. B, with you, do you do any form of consultations? I mean,
yeah, I do kind of consultation all the time.
Yeah, could you give the viewers how they can contact you if they need to?
You can reach me at area code 516-841-5442. Once again, 516-841-5442. And you can also send me a line to info@darkfoundation.org. That is info@darkfoundation.org, where we can introduce you to so many other things.
And you got to realize what you heard today. When you've been going to years and years into your doctor's office, you've never had a conversation with your doctor as you hear today with John Mikes and Dr. B. Had your doctor had this conversation with you, or many of us, we would not be in situations as some of us may be in today. Many of us would be in greater health. Many of us would not be on pharmaceutical medicines. Many of us will be still running up and down the blocks, running 5 and 10 miles like we did years ago. But bad health changes our lifestyle. Don't think it's over. Don't think there's no hope. That's what you're getting today. Do the divine from this show today is hope and another chance. When they said a second chance, you're getting it right now. People have to go detoxify the body. You heard it. Cleanse the body, get back on track, rid of these bad foods, rid of these meats, get on the natural herbs, alkaline waters, and so on and move forward. But we're going to close. We're going to have these gentlemen back because time is too short for such a large subject. So, Dr. B, we thank you. I'm sure the listeners and viewers are appreciative of you being here and giving the knowledge and information you have. John Mikes, all the way from Jamaica. We're thankful for you for coming on in such a short time and sharing about the wonderful thing that's in this miracle fire rub bottle that everyone in the world is talking about. I even saw a clip over in Saudi Arabia where people spoke about it. So you're on to something, John Mike. So get ready for mass production and get your bottle of fire up, keep it in your shelf, and do what Dr. B says and clean eternally, and then maybe we won't have to go there. Thank you all for listening. Power Talk, and we'll see you at another time next week, same time, with great information. Thank you both.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yes.
Blessings.
Yes. That's our show.
You there?